What does it mean to see representation in Hollywood? A film director's posts are going viral after he says a major film studio offered him $1 million to make his movie about Vietnamese Americans, but wanted him to change something crucial. I spoke with Chris Yen about his decision to say no.
If you're Vietnamese and ready to strive for greatness.
24-year-old director Chris Yen isn't a household name yet. But he aims to change that.
Hollywood thinks Vietnamese people aren't good enough for the big screen.
By putting Vietnamese culture on the silver screen. How long have you been storytelling and filming?
I've been filming since I was like 6, 7 years old. My parents came from the war. Like a lot of Vietnamese immigrants, they didn't know American culture. And one of the ways they taught me American culture was through movies.
Last year, his debut short film, Suburban Story, won multiple awards on the festival circuit, including Best Crime Short and Best First-Time Director, paving the way, he hopes, for a feature-length movie. Yen brought me to one of his favorite eateries in San Jose's Little Saigon neighborhood to tell me about it. Oh, man. That Viet coffee hits different. The Bay Area is home to more than 150,000 Vietnamese Americans, and it's the setting for Yen's upcoming project titled Fish, Prawn, Crab.
Fish, Prawn, Crab is about a Vietnamese brother who's struggling to take care of his little sister in the chaotic streets of Oakland, and he builds an underground gambling empire based off of Vietnamese dice game, Bao Co Tom Ca. You know, it's a childhood dice game that a lot of Vietnamese people grew up with.
He says the script garnered a lot of interest and even an offer from one studio.
They made an offer of $1 million to fund the film. But then, of course, there's always a catch.
He says they wanted to shorten the film and shooting schedule, but that wasn't all.
They were implying a lot of things about like how Vietnamese and Chinese culture might be interchangeable, and then they kind of implied and almost pretty much explicitly said that they wanted to change it from Vietnamese to Chinese.
He says the studio also wanted him to cast recognizable Chinese-American actors in place of Vietnamese actors, and to swap cultural elements like Lì Xì and Tết, the Vietnamese New Year, for Chinese ones. What was your initial reaction when you saw the conversation going that way?
I mean, of course, I had to maintain my composure and be professional, but internally I was extremely angry, extremely angry.
Yen has not named the studio publicly, but shared with us documentation showing their communications. He says he's speaking out to highlight the importance of Asian American representation.
Are Filipinos Asian? Well, Hollywood says no.
In 2022, Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh talked about the lack of Asian American roles.
I honestly look at all of you with such envy because, you know, you get an opportunity to try all the different roles, but we only get that opportunity maybe once in a long, long time.
Marvel star Simu Liu expressed frustration that studios are still hesitant to cast Asians in major roles.
I think decision makers and people who are in charge default on what they know and what they know is comfortable, and I think that in those types of situations, you know, important things like representation get kind of thrown to the wayside.
A report last year found under 4% of lead roles on broadcast TV were Asian. But some research shows representation is slowly improving. Data shows depictions of Asians in Hollywood movies has risen from 3% in 2007 to 13% in 2024. Yen says he's not giving up. He's launched an open casting call for his film, and he's crowdfunding for investment. What is your message to creators who want to see their cultures represented in media?
Maintain authenticity, because at the end of the day, what matters the most is telling the authentic story and making a great film.
Yen says he plans to start shooting in June with the hopes of finishing the film by fall.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.